In this video, we have the Redoubt map from War of Rights. We're doing the third-person perspective up here. This has all the ingredients of a really good map. It's got big Arty on both sides. The server pop is just about full. You have quality officers on both the Union and the CSA. The Union utilize a really interesting tactic that I've seen the Union use on pubs here. It's different, and so I thought that this one was one of the ones that made the cut and was worth bringing to you, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed watching it and casting it the first time. 50. We're starting this round at 315. We can take a quick look at some of the officers here. So we have Cornwallis, Pieman, Blake, Arthur, Crismodo, Viceroy. I mean, this is in some ways a kind of who's who. Gotta unmute the officers here. Of well, this has many of the folks that we tend to see leading in pubs. So this is what we get as we go into the evening here on NA East Coast time. So the CSA has 3 batteries just while we're here. They have some guns there. They have another battery over there. And don't forget, you actually can use the guns down there. Sometimes that's forgotten about. Clearly those guys didn't forget about it. And so here we go. Union are defending. They get the benefit of the Redoubt. They have a lot of artillery themselves. All the guns you see in here are theoretically usable. It's just that they don't have great lines of fire this close. So we'll see what approach the Union takes. Now, this is something I've seen more on pubs, and I saw it work to great effect. I watched this a couple of weeks ago. To be honest, the Union was just doing better in general, so I think any tactic would have worked in this one. But the Union comes out here to the right. They get in this kind of loose-ish man formation, and they take away one of the favorite attack paths of the CSA. It's a good idea. It's a good idea because it plays to the Union's strengths when it comes to small arms fire. The Union generally has good ranged options. And I say that just as I remember. I didn't look up and see what they have here. But I think it's 61s. Maybe I'll get a lull in the action. See, that's definitely a Mississippi. So I love the Mississippis at range. The 1841. They, of course, have the obligatory drummer. But they have a good mix of ranged weapons. The CSA have I believe it's a Zouave unit. I'm going to get it wrong. But I remember this Gentle as a Lamb from one of my favorite maps. You may have heard Hagerstown Turnpike. The CSA are there as well. And I think it's the same Zouave regiment. And I don't know if they have 42s. I thought they did. But they might not. It might be Mississippi. So something I can check on. It doesn't really matter. But if the CSA does have 42s, I have to check. Here, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to let you watch the shootout, and I'm going to check on this. Oh, I guess you couldn't see it. If what I'm looking at is up to date, and it can't, I swear that there were 1841s on the side of the Union. But what I'm seeing is they have Lorenz's and 1861 Springfields. It really did look like a 41. Anyways, and again, if what I'm looking at is correct for the CSA, the 1st Louisiana Zouaves and the 9th have 1842s as an option. And then the other option is either an 1841 in the 1st or the 1855 in the 9th. So if that's still accurate, the CSA has some decent options. But you probably figure on Redoubt, what the CSA was probably trying to do was work their way up to the Redoubt and then deliver buck and ball. It's notable that the CSA has decided to take this shootout. They do have a tickets advantage, and so even if you don't have the greatest weapons, and honestly for the 42s with round ball or buck and ball, these still should be within effective range. And the CSA has such a tickets advantage, you would think they'd be doing all right. All right, so I see 3 flags, which means I've lost a regiment or a company. Oh, and they have no idea what's about to hit them, so let's get a peek at Chris Moto's volley. Let's even... Are they going to follow it up with a charge? It looks like... don't go in piecemeal. This is a great ticket exchange for the Union. I have no idea where that 4th... there is a tiny, tiny company out here. And they've taken that flag, and they're... It's understandable what they're trying to do, but... This is not a bad idea, except that the CSA, if they have those 42s with buck and ball, and this group was able to realize what's going on and they communicated, they should be able to press this group pretty hard. But I think the CSA's got some mud on their shoes, if they have shoes. Okay. Never kneel if you are not completely covered. Unless you're trying to lose tickets, and there are only a few reasons why you might want to try to lose tickets. It's my public service announcement. So the CSA is dealing some death back to the Union. It has not been all one-sided. And I think this close-range engagement after the first couple of volleys, I'm wondering how much this benefits the Union. If the CSA guys have buck and ball and can be assumed to probably be hitting a shot, this might be a bad long-term exchange if you're not as far back as, say, this unit, which has a little bit better cover. Quick check here on the tickets, but otherwise I'll try to keep it clean for you. Yeah, this is good for the attackers. It's about even in levels, maybe slightly ahead for the CSA. And you're burning through the defenders' tickets at a pretty good clip. They should be engaged at this rate by 27 minutes. The CSA has done the Union a bit of a favor here by having only 2 companies here, having a 3rd over there, and then that small unit over there. What the Union's been able to do is at least concentrate 3 companies, Chris Moto, Arthur, and I don't know, I saw a spread formation, and I thought maybe this would be Cornwallis, but we'll see. I was wrong. I think he is in the server, but anyways. So that allows them to concentrate 3 against, well, it was 3 against 3, but the 2 CSA fell back and are still falling back. The Union might be over pursuing here. If CSA already knew what was up and had some canister loaded, they could take care of that. But now Chris Moto is doing a good job. They're going to cut this 3rd and final CSA group off, and it looks like the rest of the Union that was over here got the message. And I have not been paying attention to CSA Arty, or too much Arty in general, but lined up on that hill, you would think that battery right there, you can't easily miss, I don't think. You just got to get people there. But this is a reminder of how far the Union can come out. By the way, that is CSA's spawn. Union can come out quite far. Alright, we really need this. The CSA really needs this 4th company up to get the spawns in and to concentrate and not be ditching tickets. This is actually not a bad idea. If the Union's not going to deal with this, they're just going to kill a bunch of Union Arty guys. I'm guessing maybe some lower levels. Yeah. I think Marv is capping. Probably wasn't expecting no one else to be here. So, is there a mystery of... Oh, is this the 4th? No. I'm trying to find the 4th Union flag. Oh, there's 2 down there. Okay, that's why. But yeah, as I said, even as well as I think the Union has played this, and I think this is a good and interesting idea. You know, the Union's gotta be the boxer in this match because they have the good ranged options. Like whether it's the 41 or the Lorenz as the offset to the 61, they have good ranged options, not like the 42 of the CSA, and they got to assume that the CSA is packing quite a few of those. And so not waiting until it's close range, which is kind of what the CSA wants. They want to dig themselves into those berms and just deliver buck and ball. I think that this is an interesting way to play this. Okay, so this CSA group, if they haven't moved out, and they have moved out, so they are alert. And they've dragged off some of the defenders here. As long as they don't get trapped against the map edge, and they shouldn't way out there, they can continue to run around. But as the attacker, you can do a little bit of running, but for the most part, you want to be shooting. And now we got forward movement here. I always hope my system is doing this game justice, but it looks really good. I just got to drag. Now that I'm done making it look bad, but this is also a nice map to record on because I'm not too worried about shadows or anything like that, and so it can actually give you 60 FPS here, a little bit more. At pretty high quality on 1440. It's always such a strange animation. It looks like bits of wood shoot up from a shot that just hit the ground. But it's cool when it hits things that should do that. It's less cool. Alright, so the Union, I guess... Well, that is a high ticket burn rate, though. They're coming up on halfway through engaged. And they have not poked the CSA back. Not comparably poked the CSA back. So, yeah, and this is a fight that generally favors the defenders, and I would say particularly in this case, if anybody dies, and there's not going to be many deaths for the amount of time that passes, and I think the defenders should have better cover there. All right, let's not miss a cinematic on the front end here. And we are in Arty Alley. Well, primarily from that battery. It's basically point blank as long as you know where to cut the fuse. All right, and now we have a... And this is what I think the CSA wanted. Now we'll see if they actually want what they wanted. But the idea is usually get the 42s at close range. All right, and this is sometimes what we see. We'll see a group held in reserve, and they're going to try to swing the door on them. But they should try to press through there and close the door on them. I know that was a lot of vague pronouns, but... that happens. I think the Union's going to win over here. And then it's a question of do they get their flags out? We got level 53. He went down. The 19 went down. Pie Man spawns in to a wipe. So that's not what you want to do. I've been in this position, friend. It's rough. So, yeah, the CSA is, I think, just lost 3 flags. The last one is up is this group that was playing at KG. Down here on the bottom. I bet that they have farmed a ton of tickets.
We gotta be very careful. They're all wide.
Oh, that is CSA Arty. That is very ambitious. That is very ambitious.
Yep. Pull it off, gentlemen. Pull it off. Get your shot off. Get out of here. Get your shot off. Get out of here.
All right, you heard it. That is the sign of a good leader who knows when to get out. Okay. But you got to take the shot today. Second PSA, you can always finish reloading with your group later, but dying out of line while finishing your reloading does your team no good. I can't say that's going to be the last PSA I give, but it's definitely another one. You know, I think that probably helped the Union. I know that they went taking losses, probably as much as it helped the CSA. Now, did the Union... Yeah, okay, so they've stood on those flags, and they've been lost almost in the worst place possible. And so now, as the CSA, you can either kind of go in once and make it quick and bloody and just try to drive down the defenders' tickets and get them ever closer to breaking, or you got to play it even more cagey than those guys do because you got no flag to respawn, and so it's going to be very slow. You don't want the Union to be able to intercept folks who are trickling in from spawn as out of lines and skirmishing deaths. It's one of those things you can think about. If there aren't like a million other things to think about, is that if the other side does trickle in reinforcements, if you can get a group to farm their out of lines and skirmishings as they trickle in, you can do great work. All right, so the Union's going to come out to try to deny those flags. That is quite the column movement there by the CSA. This is a big old concentration. I think this Union group's in trouble. They are absolutely in trouble. Those Union groups are having fun taking pot shots over there. But the real threat is here. Maybe they just didn't think the CSA would do it. But the CSA is going to bull rush right through them. And you got CSA already in the walls. Yeah.
Get the flag out of here.
That is absolutely right. And then we have this movement going in here. That was a nice little hit by Arty there, but the CSA, I don't know whether by design or by luck, has just threaded the needle here. And they're playing groundhog. Every hole the Union goes to cover up, the CSA is popping up into another one. Probably dumping buck and ball. You got the officer 6-shooter. Flag's in a good position to get it out and spawn people in. Was that canister that took that group out? Sometimes I think when you don't see an explosion, you just see like a whole bunch of guys simultaneously fall backwards. I assume it's canister. So now this group has been whack-a-mole down, but now this group is going to push in. And if the Union were concentrating, if they were able to concentrate against all of these, it would be quite bad.
Yeah, because they are.
And we do now have a second and a third group pulling in here. Honestly, this group should just sit at the rocks and pull off here. You're out-flagged 3-1, and long term, that's just the losing formula. But yeah, CSA's back in action over here. Well, at least most of the flags are down there. I don't know, there's a fair amount of Union up here. 2 flags. Okay, they're recovering. My guess is this group is shot up. Yep. So they're getting their digital cardio in. Alright, so the Union knows where they are. They're just trying to move so that they can maybe get the jump on them. That was unfortunate. Here they go. can see all those guys trickling in. Holy moly. I mean, the CSA's got the Union under enough pressure that they can't really spare men or tickets to intercept, but if you want to take a page out of RTS games, you're a little bit behind, you can sometimes do that. Alright, that group's back up in strength. I don't know who was aiming for that. I think that's the Union going breaking. Almost a full morale stage behind. But yeah, that's exactly the kind of fight the CSA generally wants. Make it bloody. I think the only solution is usually for the defenders. They got to move in decisively and try to knock them out of there. We can see this CSA group. I don't know what they're going for. They probably could have overrun these Arty guys. Maybe. Oh, I guess they want to take that squad out, basically. I mean, the officer could almost do it. This guy over here is pursuing. I don't know what he was pursuing. Alright, so I think that this is a fairly important action. He just wipes out another group, and then they may swing up to point from there. It was a good air burst. That's right about where it should be going. That one sounded like it hit the gun. Alright. And the CSA is pulled back, I'm guessing to get healthy. I guess he offended someone. This guy got separated. He's just going to get everything he can. I think he got an out of line, so that I think should make up for it. All right, 2 CSA flags there. What happened to our gentle as a lamb? Yeah, they're embedded here, and they're about to get reinforced. If the Union could, they might want to try to concentrate and wipe these groups, because otherwise it's a prolonged slugfest, and the CSA is gonna win that eventually with the weapons they have. The Union looks like they might try to come around here and wipe the CSA. All the CSA has to do in that case is turn left face and independent fire. Alright, sure enough, now the Union is concentrating against this threat. I wonder if it's going to be quick enough, though, to get back here, because I feel like the timer in my head is going off that these groups should be getting up to full strength. But they seem... okay, so they're a little distracted. But so that'll probably buy time for the Union to wipe these 2 groups over here if they don't pull out. I have no idea if this is friendly. It doesn't really bother me if it is. Wow, I think that was a canister hit. I just saw 3 dudes fall backwards simultaneously. Alright, I think these groups, you're pretty much spawning people into melee now, so you've made it bloody. You've maintained your morale advantage of about 1 stage, but that fight is about to end. You see the Union, right? When you pull those guns out and pull them back, you can do a lot of work down here on the east side of the map. Alright, we'll go out here with the Garibaldi Guard. I think this is pretty good for the Union, right? If you got the ranged weapons, you're looking to buy time, this is what you want to do. Gotta try to follow this flag here. Alright. The CSA rightfully, I think calculates that they just need to go to point, right? The Union wants to fight at range. They're in breaking. Wow. The CSA only got one of those flags out. Yeah. Well, they may have pulled themselves a little too far out of position. We'll see. We'll see. But this is what the CSA wants. They wants to come up close.
Get in there, boys. Get in there, boys.
That was a good shot from CSA Arty. Doesn't mean as much as
Get in the main there, boys. Get in there.
they can do that. Yeah, the CSA has options. They could just form here and trade tickets down, or they can move to try to cap point. I don't think they're going to have the weight to cap point because you basically have two companies wiped over here. But you can certainly make some progress with the tickets. Ooh, this is great for the CSA. They've got the Union stopping their trading. Yeah, in relative terms, that's a fight that goes the CSA's way. Okay, until of course the rest of the Union shows up. What are they? All right. They are now in danger of being wiped, if only they know it. We'll see which way the Union comes out right. So if they come out this way, they can potentially cut off that CSA group's retreat path. And, yeah, that's that. Oh, two CSA flags down here. My guess is they have... Oh, they did not get the second one up over there. We'll see if they're able to get any of these flags out. Oh, friend. You needed to keep on running. What about these groups? They've moved, haven't they? Right? Yep. Well, nope, that's just the officer. I do not see that other... Where's my lamb here? Oh, it doesn't matter. Man. That is some suboptimal flag bearing. Somebody should make a guide about that. Alright, there's my lamb flag. One of only two up at the moment, and the other one is there and maybe spawning people. Maybe not anymore, but if they are, they're not spawning optimally. Not sure what their orders are, but if you have 42s and you got an officer, it's a bit high, Jim. Probably just shoot it out, force the Union to come into you. That way, you're standing there, you're helping the flag stay in formation and spawn in more friendlies. This is just a tough map to defend on. That's true in pub, it's true in organized, it's tough. Be interesting to see the final tally of casualties and add-a-lines and all the rest. Okay. Boink. It's got to be satisfying when you take out an officer with the sponge rammer and then that happens. Okay. And this should be the Doontide here for the Union. But I have, yeah. Smoke certainly helps cover the attack. And that should do it. I think they're going to chase him all the way back to the tents, but shouldn't be too necessary. But you can get some. Oh, that was a very cool ending. That was a pretty cool ending right there. That last shot. All right, let's see what we got, and then we'll get on out of here. Wasn't as close at the end as I thought it would be, but I still enjoyed that one.